Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's California EDD Unemployment Question and Answer Live. Please, if you want to win a copy of Jenny Silver's children's book, make sure to check out the video on that. It is linked in the description down below. The one that I have pinned as the top comment is actually a link to buy the book. Guys, I titled this that affidavit. How did I title this video? Please, if you get a letter in the mail that says to appeal, I don't want you to miss that deadline, but also before you appeal any decisions from the EDD, please call and ask to speak to a tier 2 rep. Many of my viewers are reporting that it actually takes 2 calls to the EDD, that it seems like the first rep that they get is not so nice, but that the second rep that they get actually is nice and can fix their problem. I also have an update from one of my viewers. He submitted just his real estate license. That was it. He didn't submit an affidavit or anything else, and he was really worried about that. And I think that his payments did go to disqualified. And he was like, Shelly, what do I do? And we were actually messaging on Instagram, and he messaged me today. I told him that he should reach out to his assembly member and ask the best way to add additional documents to validate his claim. And they did research it for him. But surprise, surprise, the EDD actually had already gone back and changed the status of those payments to paid so that everything was okay. So he was fine. He submitted just a business license, didn't say why he was submitting it. I mean, the EDD really should know, but I just think about how my mom had so much trouble when it was actually her VA claim, right? Just, I don't have a lot of trust in government agencies to sort this out and do the right thing. So, that is why even if you're submitting one of the approved documents, it doesn't hurt to kind of say, hi, this is my business license. I was going to start on this date, right? And I was, give them a little bit more information, but they were able to sort it out with just his business license and no additional information. Also, before I get into your comments, I was able to see my mom yesterday on Christmas. As you know, they were doing some work on my garage that my friend rents to work from home. And I was very down yesterday because I hadn't seen my mom on Christmas. I worked. I always work on Christmas, but normally I see her either Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. I wasn't sure if they were going to finish the roof yesterday. It cost a ton of money. I actually sold some stocks so that I can pay for the roof. And I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do that. But I also was able to see my mom. They finished the roof on time. I was able to get over to my mom's. Look at this. She got me a baby Yoda. Now, she just asked me if I wanted a Yoda Chia Pet. So I kind of knew what I was going to get. But obviously, I love baby Yoda more than I love grown-up Yoda. Is that a terrible thing to say? Even if it is, it's the truth. Because look at him. And I've never made a Chia Pet before. And I feel like those were the very first infomercial or as seen on TV items. So I'm pretty excited to build, grow, make my Chia Pet. My baby Yoda Mandalorian Chia Pet that was my Christmas gift from my mom. She's hilarious. They did finish the roof. But there's a hole in so there's a bathroom in my garage, guys. So there's a hole in the bathroom, in the drywall. So now it cost me a fortune. And I was like, you're going to fix that, right? And they were like, no, you got to call somebody else to do that. And my roommate goes back to work on Wednesday. So they're going to come back and see this giant hole in the bathroom part. And I don't know who I'm going to get to fix that. So, but that's for another day to worry about. My mom also does this thing where she always gives me socks for Christmas. Sorry, I promised to get into EDD stuff in just a second. And I want to talk about The new relaxed guidelines on quarantining if you test positive for the illness, and I want to talk about exclusion pay from Cal OSHA if your job asks you to stay home. So I promise I'll get into that. Yeah, the little green man plant, but look at him. That's supposed to be his little satchel that the Mandalorian carries him in. I love him. He's so cute. Also, if you haven't seen this show, it's really good, even if you're not like a huge Star Wars fan. Okay, so my mom always gives me socks for Christmas. So, and she always like wraps them in weird things. You know how I told you she gets like empty toilet paper rolls and like sticks things in there? She did not do that this year, but she gave me some boxes and I was like, is this medicine? Are you giving me or is it wrapped in your old medicine boxes? Like, what is this? And then when I opened it, it seemed really light. And I was like, this is going to be socks. My mom gave me like a used lottery ticket. And I was like, what is this? Because I also, if my mom plays the lottery, I enter them into a second chance drawing because all lottery tickets, you can enter them on like callottery.com for a second chance at a prize. And I've never won one of those, but we've spent money on lottery tickets, which is not a good investment. But whatever, once you've done it, might as well enter the second chance. So at first I thought she just gave me like a losing lottery ticket to enter in that, but it was a $15 winning lottery ticket. But it was used. But it was really cool because I totally thought it was going to be socks. And then I was like, wait, where are my Christmas socks? And don't fear, I got my Christmas socks. Okay, now into your questions. Which is just Mel saying hi everyone. Verna, do we only get it in the mail or also by email? It's my understanding that we only get the notices that whether it was approved or not approved, the official letters in the mail. But if you've submitted your documents and you're waiting to find out if it was approved or not, sometimes you can tell a little bit early if you log onto your UI Online account. If any of your payments say that they're disqualified, especially payments in the year 2021, if those have switched to disqualified, that is an early indicator that you would be expecting a letter in the mail that is going to tell you that your documents do not meet the requirements and you're going to need to appeal. But please, please, guys, I know none of us want to call the EDD, but before you appeal, because they're really far behind on the appeals, like I'm talking like 6 months behind on the appeals. So you don't want to be tied up dealing with the EDD and wondering about this for another 6 months. So I do recommend calling if you want to try and get through for free. I recommend between Tuesday and Saturday between 8 a.m. and 8:30 or later in the afternoon from 2:30 to 4 p.m. Even though they're open till 8 p.m., you don't want to call them after 4 p.m. because you need to allow the time to hold for the initial rep, and that can be like 2 hours. Then you're going to talk to that rep, and if they can't help you, you need to ask for a tier 2 rep. Then you need to allow enough time to get through to the tier 2 rep, hold, tell them your story, and then hopefully that first tier 2 rep that you talk to will fix your claim. But a lot of people are actually reporting that the first tier 2 rep they get is rude, but they call back like the next day, get a second tier 2 rep that is able to fix it. I'm also drinking the holiday living in gratitude kombucha again, the fall edition, which basically tastes like apple cider. Last time I drank this on the live, I feel like my tummy made a lot of noise, but it has this nice little, oh, this is a different quote, I think. This is totally a different quote. So there's like a nice little quote here. You are not supposed to shake kombucha, by the way. The earth, the sun, the sky, a hug from a friend, a call from a loved one, a smile from a stranger. Blessings are abundant. And guys, every time you guys tell me that you found your dream job, that you refinanced your car, that you won $100 because you were using a Yada savings bank instead of a regular savings bank, that you got the 2 free stocks. Honestly, like I'm happy for you. When you win your EDD claims, when my viewer tells me that, oh, shoot, all I sent in was my business license. Now my payments are disqualified. What do I do? I probably should have sent a slight explanation. Those are my wins as well. Okay. So the EDD phone number, the regular one, the free one is 833-978-2511. There's no longer any phone tricks to get through, but I do have my claimer link pinned above. I feel like on chat when you guys are watching it's actually going to be up there, but whatever. There's a pinned comment if you're watching the live chat replay, if you watch this later, or it's always linked in the description on using Claimer. If you haven't used them before and you use my link, the first time saves you $5. It makes the call $14.99, and a lot of people think that it's worth it. But if you do have to call them 2 days in a row, if the first rep doesn't fix it, after you use my link the first time, if you wanted to use Claimer again to call the EDD, the discount only works the first time to save you $5, then you'd be paying $19.99. And I don't know, I can't really endorse spending $35 to get through the EDD. So take that for what it's worth. Try calling for free first. And then if you get frustrated, if you're like, I'm over this, that's when I'd use Claimer. Claimer also, though, does dial the IRS now, which I do think is smart. And depending on your situation, may or may not be worth it, even at the $19.99 price. It's all going to depend on like kind of how much money you're waiting on, how worried you are about it, what your financial situation is. If you're broke, I'm broke now. That I fixed the roof. If you guys are broke, you're gonna have to invest the time to call the EDD, but maybe take breaks because also you have to weigh the pros and cons. I almost broke my last phone. It like literally overheated because I was calling nonstop for a video for 3 hours and my phone overheated. And so you don't want to break your phone calling the EDD for free. So maybe try for like 45 minutes, then take like a 15-minute break, then 45 minutes, 15-minute break until you get through. Okay. Annie, thank you, Annie. And you guys, if you haven't already, I would love it if you liked the video. I would also love it because the roof was really expensive and I was able to sell stocks to do it. But I also need to save money for taxes. I've got a lot of projects coming up. If you guys could just watch some of my videos, if you guys could watch a playlist, it helps the channel more than you ever know. If you like the videos, if you share the videos, it really does help. Mel says, my friend hasn't heard back yet, but the payments are still paid. No news is still good news. LOL. That's absolutely true. If they haven't switched to disqualified, that's still a good sign. And I want to remind everybody that Jenny Silver was also asked to submit her proof of employment documents to the EDD, or her case, proof of self-employment documents. She submitted her tax returns, which are on the list of approved documents. So she's going to be cleared eventually, or she should be. But she submitted them, that's not a word. She submitted them almost immediately, probably because she wanted to make a video on the process and get it out to you guys quickly. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a smart idea. But she sent them over a month ago, I want to say, and she still hasn't heard back. So don't worry if you haven't received your letter yet. Yeah, we did finish the roof, but there's still like a big hole in the garage. They told me a painter could, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Hi, Donna. Debbie says, oh no, not the little green man in a plant. Yes. And of course, like, because my mom knows I love Baby Yoda, and I've got this guy too. You guys, the happy, sad, reversible Baby Yoda. So cute. I feel icky today. Today was a crazy day at work again. We're all the holidays, I think, stress people out. Okay, Checkered Flag Films, part 1. I've been self-employed, freelancer working in the documentary film industry for many years. You're 75 years old, semi-retired, but still work as a self-employed person on occasion. Part 2. I didn't earn enough to pay taxes in 2019. What kind of documents should I submit? So I would do, again, the affidavit, and I have the video with the step-by-step instructions. It's 6 steps. It's pretty easy. So definitely fill out the affidavit. But also, do you have any emails from people that reached out to you to come and freelance for them? Do you have any emails where you reached out to somebody asking them for work that's during the time period that they asked for? Did you buy any equipment, right? Like, I know I've got 2 nope, I think I have 3 microphones right near me. I have my Blue Yeti that I'm not using because it's weird with my computer. I've got my Rode mic, which I don't use because that goes with my camera that I don't use. Oh no, I have all 3. And then this, guys, I got to learn to link this in the comments down below because sometimes you guys ask about this. This is my microphone for my cell phone. So so like right here I've got all this crap that I buy for YouTube. PS, let's go through this even though it's not linked. I don't have an affiliate link. This is a really good microphone. It wasn't cheap, but it's lasted over a year. And if you guys watched my unboxing video on my iPhone, you know that I was not happy because the cases that I could find, they didn't have an opening because this needs to plug into here, right? And it needs to like make a good contact right there. I was watching Mr. Beast videos. His Team C's donations. I need to donate to that. But it needs to make good contact. So the case needs to be open. And I thought that Apple didn't make one. And then one of my viewers told me that that they did make a clear one that has that's open all the way from one side to the other. So anyway, do you have any receipts? So I'm going to write off my phone case. I'm going to try to at least. I'm going to tell that to the tax man. I needed to buy this special phone case so that my YouTube microphone would work. So therefore that phone case is a business expense. And I'm going to try and write off part of the phone. I don't think you can write off all of it. They're going to know that I do other things besides just YouTube. But I just said I don't use my camera to film. I don't know how to use it. So I use my phone still. So I'm going to write that off as a business expense. Do you have anything like that? Receipts that you could show them? Any payments that were made by Venmo or PayPal or however you get paid? So anything else that you can send them during the time frame that they asked for that would further back up the fact that you are a freelance documentary filmmaker. And PS, I think that is so cool that you're 75 and that you're still doing it. A lot, and I also manage a movie theater and we specialize in independent and foreign film. So often those are documentaries. And I just think that's awesome. And go you. Okay. Let's see here. As Zenith, I hope I said that right. You exhausted your EDD benefits and extensions. You're still unemployed and looking. I was able to work through a temp agency for 1 month and the assignment is done. Can I reapply? You can try, but remember the base period that the EDD is looking at right now probably doesn't include very many recent months. Now, if you wait till January, the regular base period isn't going to cover December or November probably, but the alternate base period will, and they're supposed to automatically check for the alternate base period. So yeah, so the regular base period, if you applied right now, they're going to look at the months of July of 2020 through June of 2021. Even right now, if you apply today, and they use the alternate base period, they would be looking at October of 2020 through September of 2021. So it may not catch the weeks that you've worked yet. So if you wait until January of 2022 to apply. So if you wait it's just a few days now, right? It's like 4 or 5 days. If you wait 4 or 5 days, the regular base period is going to encompass the months of October of 2021 nope, sorry, that's not true. October 2020 through September of 2021. October 2020 through September of 2021. So even in January of 2022, the regular base period is still going to look at October of 2020. The alternate base period, if you apply in January of 2022, will cover January of 2020. What is on my phone? January of 2021 through December of 2021. So you might want to wait a few days to apply. And then remember that you also, in your highest earnings quarter, need to have made at least $1,300. So if you made at least $1,300 in that 1 month, then definitely apply. Okay. Mel, how long is the waiting process? I don't know, because like Jenny's still, I'll try and find out from her. I'll double check if she's found out yet, but it's going to be different from everybody. Remember, all of these PUA proof of employment documents, they're going to need to read each one of them and verify each one of them, because the types of things that each person is sending in is going to be so different. Some people are sending affidavits, right? Someone's going to need to read through that and figure out, is this true? Some people are sending business licenses, and maybe your business license says Shelly's Millions, but you guys, my legal name is Michelle, right? So I apply for unemployment benefits under my legal name, but then maybe my business is Shelly's Millions. So then they got to try and figure out, if I just sent my business license with no other explanation, they might not be able to put two and two together that Shelly and Michelle are the kind of the same. Shelly is a nickname short for Michelle. I wish my mom would have just named me Shelly. That's a story for another day. Anyway, let me take a drink of my kombucha, which I opened like 5 minutes ago, and you guys take a moment and like the video. William, you submitted your appeal with more proper proof, and your disqualification has been reversed. That's amazing. And I'm so happy about that. Debbie, in this Sunday's paper, 12/26/21, the San Bernardino Sun article about experts urging EDD rescinding this PUA issue involving 900,000 people. What do you say? I haven't seen that article, so I'm not able to comment on it. I will. Let me get my whiteboard. Ugh, where's my, oh, I'm like, where's my dry erase marker? Hello. On my whiteboard. Okay, I'm going to write down the name of that article and I will check that out. I also have some homework due to Jenny Silver that she needs from me. Okay, so it's the SB Sun. EDD rescinding. That's how I'm going to Google it. Rescinding PUA issue with 900,000. I don't know. I'm not sure legally if they can, because that was federally mandated that they ask for this proof, right? So so for example, right, there's like a poll, it's not a poll, like a petition that's going around where people want the government to get a universal basic income for 1,000, for 2,000. There's petitions going around for that, but just because people want them to do it doesn't mean they can. So I think that this was federally mandated. I don't think they'll be able to get out of it, but let me read the article, because maybe it's quite possible that there are developments that I'm unaware of. Okay. Will I be doing a video on the little green man plant growing? If I do, I'll either just go live. I bought something. You guys know that I wanted to do the Legos. The Lego is the green man also. So don't knock everything over, Shelly. Let's see if I can show you this. My room is a mess. But there's the claw. There's there's like all the stuff that I was filming, my children's books. But anyway, that on the left, to the left of the ring light, is a claw, so that I can like film while I'm unboxing things, and I can film like if I'm putting Legos together. So I can film hopefully 2 screens. I can film like my desktop, what my hands are doing, and I can still use my webcam. I don't know. It's probably too technologically advanced for me. But maybe on one of the lives, I talk to you guys and I water my chia pet. I don't know. Oh, anyway, if I do make a video on him, it would probably be like a TikTok or a short that then like I don't really announce. Just if you guys see it, you see it. Yeah. Okay. Can somebody tell me if you can see my comments? Josie, I just saw that, but you know what? I need to change it to live chat instead of just top chat. I hate when I do that. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Where how do I lose my place when there's not even like tons of comments? Josie says, cheers to 2022 and more power to you. More power to all of you guys. I'm really working on being a little bit more positive. Hello, Reyes family. Just Mail says hi. The Reyes family says, why are we being asked to upload documents? I uploaded my bank statements, but what is it for? So that's probably because you were on PUA, unemployment claim, or without your knowledge, possibly you were put on a PUA claim by a rep that thinks that they were being helpful, but really they kind of like they inconvenienced you maybe. So they're asking for it because it's mandated by the federal government. It was just, it was in one of the stimulus bills that was going to be required for any claims that were paid out after December 27th of 2021. Now, what the EDD did, and I'm glad that they did this, is they were like, we trust the residents of California to be honest with us. We're going to go ahead and process everything as fast as we can without making them jump through all these hoops so that we can get money in their hands faster. Because a lot of people are like, they should have just done this from the beginning. And I don't agree with that. If you would have been told, hey, we're going to ask for this proof up front, but it's going to take so long for us to read through that you're not going to get your money for 6 to 8 months, would you have been like, oh, okay, that's the right thing to do, is to ask us for this up front? I don't think so. Like steam would have been coming out of our ears because we would have been like, no, I have bills to pay. I need that money now. Like this is your problem. You figure it out. So I'm glad that they gave the money to everybody first, but it is a little bit of an inconvenience that they're asking for it now. Okay. Uh-oh. I did skip your greeting, Josie, but I got it now. So thank you so much. I did need to change my settings, I think. Okay. I will look into that. Oh, it's the S. Is that the Sacramento Bee? What is Debbie, I'm slow sometimes. Is that the Sacramento Bee? There's so many like counties and that I'm not sure. So we've got the Sacramento Bee. It could be something for Santa Barbara. It could be for San Bernardino. What's the SB stand for? So it's not the SB Sun. It's the Sunday edition of the SB Business news article. Josie, you're welcome. Jeffrey says, can there possibly be another boost if we're shut down? So first of all, guys, I really don't think that they're going to be shutting anything down. As a matter of fact, they're going the opposite way. So I said at the beginning of the video that this is something that I wanted to talk about, and that is the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. They're not mandating it, right? So it can still be different from state to state because they're not making this mandatory. And California has not made any changes yet. But the new recommendations by the CDC are that even if you test positive, whether you're vaccinated, not vaccinated, had your booster, not had your booster, if you test positive, they're only recommending to isolate for 5 days. So that it used to be that they would recommend to isolate for 10 days, but now they have changed it to just 5 days. However, so a lot of people who were maybe sent home from their places of employment and told to stay at home for 10 days are now only going to be told to stay at home for 5 days. You also do need to no longer have symptoms. So if you were sent home because you tested positive, hopefully, if that's the case, you'd be asymptomatic the whole time. You wouldn't experience any symptoms. If you do have symptoms, it's going to be at least 5 days before you're allowed to return. And you do need to have at least, I want to say 24 hours, they said, before you can return to work after you're symptom free. So you need to be symptom free before you go back to work. Um, but the other change, and this will affect more people, is if you come in close contact with someone who has tested positive for the illness, then you also need to isolate for 5 days unless you've had your booster. So that I rolled my eyes, right? I want to keep everybody safe, but like this is like it's hard for businesses, especially like retail, right? And gas stations and grocery stores and hospitals, places that are open at night, places that are open, like places that somebody needs to go in and unlock the door and someone needs to be there to lock up the doors and someone needs to be there to turn on and make food or restock groceries. It's it's not just like, "Oh, I work in a movie theater and I can go home and quarantine." Like, if I'm not there to open the theater, somebody else has to go in. And we have brought back more employees we've hired, but it's hard on businesses. I don't mean to seem insensitive at all, but it's tricky and that's why it's a balance. So, on the one hand, and I just want people to be healthy, really, whatever that takes, but they have changed it for close contacts as well if you haven't had your booster. So, that's potentially like, let's say I've got 2 people on a cash register. This could be at a grocery store too. You've got 2 people on a cash register. Also, even though they recommend the wording on the 6 feet distance says you should remain 6 feet in distance from other employees when possible. So if it's not, you're like, oh, well, it's not possible to stay 6 feet apart. We have to cross each other. And the close contact exposure, they define that as 15 minutes. Brandon, you haven't been keeping up on EDD news. A few weeks back, you received an email saying to log in and submit proof of employment before a date in January. Any other update? I am unsure exactly what is required. Okay, so in the dates that they have given you, they're asking you to provide proof of employment or proof of self-employment. And proof of employment doesn't necessarily need to be um, just for people who are self-employed. Sometimes, without even them knowing it, sometimes regular unemployment recipients were briefly placed on PUA unemployment while they were getting the programming in place. Here comes the kitty for the extensions. And so now the EDD, they want proof that either you had a job offer, that you had your own business, that you had plans to start your business, or that you had traditional W-2 work. Let's see the kitty. Oh, he's on the copier where exactly he's not supposed to be. But anyway, you guys were asking how he is, and he's up to no good, but he's well. Oh, look at his little face. Oh, can you look at the camera? No, he's like, I don't care about you and your camera, lady. Anyway, he's cute and he's well. So they're asking for proof that you had employment, your own business, plans to start work, a job offer prior to when you started your unemployment claim. So that's what they need you to upload. And if you don't have any of those, I have a really good video for you to watch, and it's linked pretty close to the top of the description in the actual video description. So if you just click that little drop down arrow in the description of the video, you should be able to get there. What is he? He's making all sorts of mischief. Oh God, please don't break my copier. Okay. So that is what they need. I don't know what he wants. This cat. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna put that in my browser right now. Okay, and if you need, so if you need to send in the affidavit, I have a really good video, and that's where kind of you would say it maybe the business that was gonna hire you completely closed, maybe you don't have any documents. We call the cat Bonkers. Now, again, this is not our cat. It's just like a neighborhood cat that we feed and we take to the vet if he is sick. But we call him Bonkers. Oh, thank you, Tent and Friend. So we call the cat Bonkers because, like, when you feed him, he likes to like headbutt you before he eats. So he likes to bonk his head. Hi, Diana. Oh, it's so good to see you. So we call him, yeah, Bonkers. Sometimes we call him Snowbutt. I don't know. You know how like animals have all sorts of different names. Steven says, can I extend my unemployment if it was discontinued in September? No, most of the programs ended in September, and there's not a way to get benefits past that unless you have done some work since then. Okay, plan to claw back jobless. Oops, jobless benefits. Is this going to come up? Go. Yeah. Oh, well, hold on. December 11th. Okay, I need to plan to claw back benefits. Hi, Jenny. Okay. All right. I did have a good day. See, this is when you probably worked before you put the kids to sleep as well. What time do you go to sleep? Don't worry. I know that I have homework due to you by the end of tonight, midnight by tonight. Plan to claw back jobless benefits. Draws concerns. Draws, because there were lots of articles titled with just plan to get out of here, Jenny. I'm getting a video idea. She's probably already seen the article. Okay. Oh, I found this. Yep. Okay. Got it. All right. I will read that in a bit. Okay. So that is ready to go. Why is there a picture of SpaceX? I love SpaceX. You guys, now I have got a problem with my ear, but I had earrings that I wore for almost the whole year that I bought because I thought they looked like the X in SpaceX. Okay, so you're going to do all sorts of work in the next 3 hours and get it done. You like Jenny Silver amazes me. I'm not caught up on your videos though. I saw that you put out one. Okay, let me scroll back up here. So we were at Stevens, and yeah, most of the programs expired in September unless you have attachment to the workforce again. Brandon, says, thanks for answering. I'll check out the other video. You remember when I first started my channel, I had 300 subscribers and now 33K. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's also crazy that so many people still need help with unemployment and that the EDD is still making news headlines with all the craziness they're putting people through. Like, I never would have thought that we would still be making videos this far into it. Also, anyway, Jenny, thank you for popping in. Steven says, what if I was self-employed, a Grubhub driver? So they probably would have sent you a 1099 at the end of the year. So you can just submit that. You wouldn't need to do, oh, sorry, Steven. So you're not asking about the proof of employment documents. You're asking about getting unemployment benefits. So no, because those are considered like independent contractor or self-employed positions. So you're not actually an employee of Grubhub. You are an independent contractor. You're considered self-employed. And right now there are no programs through the unemployment office, through the California EDD to get unemployment benefits. You would need to have attachment to some of your wages in your highest earnings quarter. I got to make sure I'm saying this right. You need to have some attachment to the workforce, which actually can come from Grubhub, but then you would also need at least $1,300 in your highest earnings quarter to come from a W-2 employer. So if your only work that you've done is self-employment, since you opened your original claim, you're not going to qualify for a new claim. So you would need attachment to the workforce, and $1,300 in your highest quarter would need to come from W-2 wages. I can give you an example. This is probably not the case, but so for example, I got furloughed March 15th of 2020. I got a paycheck from my W-2 employer on March 20th of 2020. That paycheck was more than $1,300. So therefore, actually, I think this isn't going to be true anymore. But if you have something similar, this will work. They're not still using the base period. Well, hold on. I got to make sure that I'm saying this right. No, this would work. So $1,300 after I opened my original claim, because I opened my claim on March 15th, but on March 20th, I got a paycheck from a W-2 employer that would have had $1,300 in it. Then, if I never went back to that employer and I drove for Grubhub, even for like a week, that would show attachment to the workforce, and that can come from self-employment. So there's two different requirements. There's an attachment to the workforce requirement, and that can come from self-employment like Grubhub. But then you also need to meet the earnings requirement of $1,300 in your highest quarter. That needs to come from W-2 work. Okay, I hope that made sense. But yeah, most likely you're not going to qualify again. Okay. Miri says 2 weeks after I had already uploaded my 2019 documents, I got paid my backdate payment. What should I do if I received disqualification only on my backdate payments? Okay. So I really do recommend calling the EDD in that situation. I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, but that really is my recommendation, because a lot of people are able to call the EDD and have the disqualification reversed. You are going to need to ask for a tier 2 representative, and many people are reporting that they actually have to call the EDD twice and speak to 2 tier 2 representatives on different days and get it switched that way. So oftentimes, I don't know why this is, but the first tier 2 rep that they speak to, people are reporting that they're not nice and that they're not helpful. And then they give it a day, they give it a rest, and they call back the next day and speak to a tier 2 representative again, and they are able to switch it to paid that way. If that doesn't work, then I would email your assembly member. And then if they can't, and you want to do all this pretty quickly, because if you do need to appeal the decision, you want to make sure that you send that appeal in within the 30-day time frame. But first, I would try calling and seeing if they can fix it that way. Oh, Brandon, thank you for the donation. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm scrolling back up here. Manuel just says hello. So Steven says it's not too late for the $5,000 grant. And what would restrict you from receiving it? I don't know a lot about the $5,000 grant, but if you know about a grant, please apply for it. Tito, is no news good news if my history payment still show paid and I submitted my documents 7 weeks ago? Yes, I would say that it is. Jenny, I'm curious. I know you submitted your documents a long time ago. Have you received word one way or another on your claim? Last I had heard on your channel during your live with the lawyer, you still hadn't heard either. So I'm kind of using your claim as a gauge on whether, like, okay, well, this is, people who submitted documents this long ago, we still have cases where they haven't heard. And last I heard, you hadn't heard. So, yeah. Okay. So it's normal, or maybe not normal, but it's certainly happening where people submitted 7 weeks ago and they haven't heard yet. Hi, Scotty. I was just thinking about you. I was like, oh, I haven't seen Scotty in a while. And then I was like, I wonder if that's because he's working 3 jobs still. So let me know, Scotty, how many jobs are you currently working? Okay. EMD. I can't get an affidavit from the person who was scheduled to employ me before the pandemic. Is it okay to just send my own personal affidavit? I mean, you're going to need to, right? If you can't get anything else. I would say that sending the affidavit yourself is probably like the it's like your last option, right? You want to try and submit as many things as you can to substantiate your claim without like overwhelming them. So if you have emails from anybody, if you have receipts for things that you purchased, if you have a business plan, a business bank account, a business license, any of those kinds of things to send with it, I would send those types of things with your personal affidavit, emails, phone calls, anything like that. But if you don't have any of that, then yes, you're going to have to just do the affidavit that you fill out yourself. I don't want anybody to just think, oh, well, I don't have anything else, so I'm not going to do it. That's definitely not the right answer. So if you don't have any other documents, that's going to have to be okay. You could say in the affidavit, you've reached out to them, but they are not responding, and so you're having to do this, or you no longer have their contact information or whatever that situation is. You could explain that you tried to get it from them and you weren't able to do so. Mommy of two says, I got documents. You got that it meets the federal requirements. That should be it. I think there is one other sentence on there that says if they need additional information from you in the future, they'll reach out. But for the most part, that should be good. They should be done, and they shouldn't need anything else from you. Okay. Okay, noted rock historian said, I won my appeal. Yes, it took over 8 months. Yeah, that's why even if you get the letter that says that it didn't meet the requirements and that you need to appeal, it does also seem to be that if you submit additional documents when you appeal, because that's what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to send anything else that you have that will further help your case when you appeal. Sometimes that alone seems to be reversing the decision without actually going through the appeal process. But the appeal process can be 6 to 8 months in the future. So that is why, even though I hate saying to call the EDD, why I do recommend trying to call them first and also twice if the first tier 2 rep can't help you. Okay. Noted rock historian. Oh, yeah, we just did that one. Mel. Yes. We did Scotty's. Steven, the last time I worked under W-2 was during the beginning of COVID 2019. Okay, so you are, well, do you mean 2020? Either way, you can try and apply and see if you qualify, but just know that it's pretty likely that you wouldn't qualify for the new claim because self-employed individuals aren't protected with unemployment benefits anymore. They were protected under the PUA program, and now that doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Brandon says, besides the fact that EDD having problems still, congrats on the 30K subscribers. You hope I get to 1 million. Well, thank you. I've got a ways to go, but yeah. Okay, Debbie Hall, I see Batman is coming in spring movies. Have I seen an advance clip or trailer? I haven't yet, but that should be good. Okay, so has to be in the beginning of 2020 W-2 payment over 1,300. Can't it be in 2019? I don't think so. That's going to be too long ago, I think. It needs to have been since you first opened your claim, your original claim. So did you open your original claim back in 2019? Okay. Jenny Silver has still not heard back. And you applied really early, right? I was like, she probably did it on like the first day, probably to make a video. But just, if she didn't do it like that very first day that they asked for it, you did it within like the first couple of days that they asked for that documentation, and she still hasn't heard. So I'm gauging her. If she hears back and then you guys are asking me, then I'm going to be like, well, Jenny Silver hadn't heard for like 7 weeks, but then on week 8, she did. But it's still normal to have not heard, right? They have to go through, it's about 1 million of these claims, and it can't just be fed through a computer because everybody's claim is going to be different. Everybody's documents are different. It's going to take a human eye to look through those. And that's just going to take time. Hey, since Jenny is in here, here's a good time to remind you guys that you can purchase a copy of her book on Amazon, and I have that linked in the description down below and pinned as a top comment up above. I'm also going to be choosing a winner. I'll be shipping someone a book, but you do need to watch the video that I did on giving away a copy of her book, which is linked in the description down below. And it's really beautiful. She didn't illustrate it, but she did write it. It is a beautiful, beautiful book, but I'm not going to open it for you because I want you guys to get your own copy. And also I do go through a lot of the pictures. I'm also not going to read it to you guys because she's going to do that in her video whenever that comes out. When's that one coming out, Jenny? I got impatient. I couldn't wait. And it seemed like I released it on Christmas. It seemed like a nice thing to do. I had wanted to ship the book out in time to give it as a Christmas present, but that didn't happen. Okay. Manuel says, I'm on my Christmas break and started working back on August 27th of 2021. I was told by my employer that I can file my Thanksgiving break and Christmas break. That does not sound correct to me. Are you being paid? Did they just give you a reduction of hours? Are they closed? And I don't know about that, but if your employer told you, I don't know. I don't know. If your employer told you, their HR department should know whether you qualify better than I do. I don't know. I know teachers who go on summer break, they're not supposed to get it. Also, Brandon, thank you so much for the sticker donation. I really appreciate that. And thanks for the winky face. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. That seems a little odd to me. Okay. Pavla says, I have none of those documents as I was trying to package my film. I spoke to a tier 2 person who said they didn't want an affidavit written by me, but only by other people. Here's the thing. That is what they said that they want. That is the preferred thing. And tax records are going to be the best thing you can send. So if you have tax documents, a business account, a business license, receipts showing that you purchased something for your business. I showed all my, Jenny, I've used this all of 0 times if you're still in here. This is my phone mic, and I've got my Blue Yeti that gave me issues, so I'm not using it anymore either. The only one I use is this guy. Do you have receipts for anything that you purchased to your business that would help substantiate that? Do you have emails from anybody? Like a lot of times, like maybe there's a lot of people that seem to say, hey, it was a babysitter and I was getting paid in cash. So if that's the case and someone didn't want you to babysit for them anymore, did they send you an email or even a text message that you could screenshot and that you could say, hey, look, here's a text message that I've screenshotted. You can see the date in this text message was in the dates that you were asking for. They said that I can't babysit for them anymore because they're working from home and they don't need a babysitter anymore. So anything else. So yes, the self-written affidavit, even though I made a video on how to do that because so many people were asking for it, it's kind of like the least desired document from the EDD. But if you don't have anything else, what are your options? Your option would be to ignore the request from the EDD altogether. And I'm certainly not going to tell you to do that. So if all you can get is the affidavit that you're writing, you have to at least try with that, but be thorough. You're going to say, I reached out to somebody. And if you have their name or contact information still, you'd want to include that so that they can contact them if they need to. Any other substantiating documents. If you do send something else, like a screenshot of a text that has the date visible when the text was sent, I would put that in the affidavit. You would say, I reached out to this person to try and get them to write an affidavit for me. Maybe you have screenshots of that. But you could also say, as you can see from these original texts, we had an agreement for me to start babysitting for them. And they said that they weren't comfortable with people that didn't live in their household coming over anymore, or they were working from home and they no longer needed a babysitter. Whatever your situation is, anything else that you can send them to substantiate it is going to be helpful. But also in the affidavit, I would include, like, it doesn't need to be detailed, just factual, short and sweet, but factual, but explain why you included that. All right, Scotty, keep hustling. Okay. Manual says, you got my certificate or letter for my work and layoff letter for EDD certification requirement. But do I need to send my old check stub from January 2019 to January 2022, 21? You shouldn't need to. So normally the EDD is able to pull all of that information. If you're filing a new claim, or like if you got documents from your employer to sign up for EDD, I guess that is okay. Again, your employer would know. Again, it just, that sounds a little off to me, but good for you if they're going to give it to you while you're on vacation. Well, that's like basically a paid vacation, whatever. That sounds off to me. But again, I'm not like a tax professional. I'm not a lawyer. Okay. So, sorry, my phone distracted me. You shouldn't need those check stubs because the EDD can really like pull it from like the W-2 history from your employers. For example, I actually filled out mine wrong when I first did it. It asked for like the annual gross, and somehow like I put my daily pay. I don't know. I was confused and I put the wrong thing and I was like, oh my God, am I going to get my benefits? This was when I first applied. But they had all my employers' history and how much I had made. Auto, what if they put you on PUA because you didn't qualify for regular UI? So yeah, in that case, you should actually have like pay stubs. Like if you had just started a job, let's say you were a college kid and you had only worked for like 2 weeks at your new job, and so you didn't have enough earnings to qualify for a traditional unemployment claim, then you would just send them your actual W-2 wages. Again, if they put you on it, why didn't you qualify? It depends on the reason why you didn't qualify for UI. But again, either like an offer letter or proof that you were going to start your own business or business plans or whatever your situation was for the reason why they put you on PUA instead of a regular UI claim, you did need to have, and I know people don't like to hear this, but it's the truth. You did need to have a legitimate job offer, legitimate plans to start your own business prior to when you filed for benefits, some sort of something going on. Some people were just planning on re-entering the workforce and they couldn't due to lack of childcare. That's actually the example that I go through in the affidavit. But again, since the affidavit is kind of like the least desirable document, the self-filled out affidavit, if you fill that in, there's not a guarantee that they're not going to ask for more documents like receipts or business plan that further substantiate the validity of your claim prior to when you filed your claim. Okay, Stephen, what's the best way to receive any type of financial support at this point? And would reapplying if you haven't worked at a W-2 job since your last claim be worth it? If it will let you apply, then go ahead and try. Sometimes when you try and file a new claim, it's going to pop up right away like that you don't have the wages. Like it just knows you're not going to qualify. So see if you have that message. And then there's an additional message that says, hey, if you still think you're eligible, you're either going to need to file by paper or over the phone. So if you believe you're eligible, you can call and have the rep try and walk you through. I never want to discourage anybody from trying to apply. Also, because sometimes the EDD like messes up and seems like maybe they award people claims who shouldn't be awarded claims. That's actually happened to some of my coworkers. So try applying and see what happens. I also want to say if they award you a claim when they shouldn't have, I cannot guarantee that at some point they won't realize that and be like, hey, wait a minute, we gave you this claim, but we realized we were looking at the wrong period of wages or something. But that would be no fault of your own. If you applied and they gave it to you, and then you could definitely request an overpayment waiver, because if they award you benefits that you didn't get and you were honest on your application, that would be their fault, not yours. So they would most likely approve an overpayment waiver. Anyway, so when in doubt, apply, right? That's going to be my best advice for you. So yes, I always think it's worth it to apply, but just be prepared that it may not. Now, you're asking what's the best way to receive any type of financial support. So make sure that you have applied for food stamps. There's potentially general relief. Make sure that you have applied for rent relief or rental assistance through the Housing is Key program. They can help you with your rent and potentially future rent, even if you're not behind on your bills. Somebody earlier mentioned a grant, and I'm not sure if they were talking about like small business grants or there's a lot of grants. So when I was first doing these videos, it doesn't hurt to search for this. You want to search by city, state, and county. So, and by the industry that you were in. So if you were in the restaurant industry, for example, search restaurant workers grants, Pasadena. Restaurant, that's the city. Restaurant workers grants, San Bernardino. Maybe that's your county. And then restaurant workers grants, California. See if there's any grant money available. Also, if you don't get food stamps, if you don't qualify for food stamps, see if you can go to a food bank. You can go to any church. Well, not any church that's participating, but let's say that you're going to a Catholic church. You do not need to be a member of the Catholic faith to get food from a food bank at the Catholic church. They're not going to try and convert you to Catholicism. Same with synagogues or Christian churches, like whatever. Find a food bank, make sure that you've got your food taken care of. There's still programs to help lower your utilities. Call your creditors, see if they will pause your payments for a little bit. See if you can start a side hustle. See if you have anything you can sell, any rooms you can rent. There's even like a service where you can rent a car, like rent your car out to other people to buy. And don't lose hope. And good luck. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Tita says, have I heard EDD calling people to ask questions about their earnings for PUA? My mother said EDD called her to clarify her PUA application, or was it an impersonator? No, they can definitely, that's kind of like a phone determination interview. They definitely are doing that. The EDD actually just tweeted about that recently. Give me 2 seconds on this. I will tell you what they tweeted. You guys, sometimes I feel like I should just do like a Jenny Silver, get out of here, don't listen. Sometimes I feel like I should do like a TikTok where I just read the EDD's tweets every morning. Jenny, don't you do that. Jenny's not interested in TikTok right now. Where the heck are my EDD tweets? Hold on. No, where are you? Hold on. Search. Oh my goodness, guys. I get my life together. What's going on? EDD. It's not showing me the stuff that I want to see. It tells you who to look for. Okay. It actually says this was a tweet from 6 hours ago today. So maybe they were calling a lot of people today. EDD continues to call claimants with an eligibility question on their claim to avoid having to schedule a determination interview. A call from the EDD may, not will, but may show as ST of CA EDD, which state of California EDD, or the customer service number, 800-300-5616. The rep calling will let you know your EDD customer account number. So if you're ever concerned, is it the EDD or is it not the EDD, say, you know what, this call came from a number I don't recognize. Do you have my EDD customer account number that you can tell me so that I know that it's you? And they should be able to rattle that back off to you. So I think that sounds legitimate. I wouldn't worry too much about it. So yes, I have heard of that. They even tweeted about it. I think your mom's okay. And I hope that everything's good on that. Okay, I'm going to try and finish up these questions and then head out. Arrors. I don't know how to say your name. Do I think shots of transactions, letters from clients, and contracts dated with the time frame would be applicable as proof? Yes, but please send them like a little affidavit, because really the affidavit could be so simple, guys. Oh, I feel like this is not it. Is it in, you guys probably know, was it in my pickle notebook or is it in, I got a lot of notebooks. I got this one from my customer. This is, nope, this is like my to-do list. It says, go to the gym and say daily affirmations and do a YouTube live and pack. This is not it. Are you, what's in the pickle notebook? Do you guys know? Let's see. Jenny, is that going to be part of our business? Thank you. Help me get organized. Okay. So affidavit, real quick, title it. For example, affidavit of self-employment offer, or you wouldn't have an offer for self-employment because you'd be giving yourself that offer. Affidavit of employment offer. Affidavit of Shelly's Millions. 2, craft a statement of identity. My name is Shelly's Millions. I'm 44 and I reside at Millionaires Lane in Los Angeles, California. I would mention that you live in California just so they know. 3, write a statement of truth. I, Shelly's Millions, swear that this information is truthful to the best of my knowledge. 4, state the facts. Literally, if this was my situation, this is probably all I would include. But for you, since you're going to include these other things, I will tell you what to say. I had an offer to begin employment on February 2nd, 2020 at Domino's, but the location closed due to the pandemic, and I was unable to begin work. I might also include another sentence that said, I contacted other stores to see if the person that offered me jobs got relocated and could write the affidavit for me, but I haven't heard back. It really just needs to be straight and to the point. In your situation, I would say, I would say something to the effect of, I don't know what your clients were. Let's say that you were a masseuse. I was a masseuse, and here I had to close my business because nobody wanted to, we were on stay-at-home order, and all of my clients moved, or they don't feel comfortable writing a document, an affidavit for me. So I am including screenshots of payments. I am including previous letters from clients or emails that they were satisfied with their lower back felt better after the massage session. Here was a contract where I was going to start at a local spa. And then, so I would kind of like say what your business was, why it needed to close, and like a brief 1-sentence explanation of why you're sending them the other stuff. And if you can, I would say page 2 is going to be, page 2 is, I lost my place. Anyway, page 2 is a letter from a client stating blah, blah, blah. Page 3 is a contract dated today that further validates my claim. I am hungry, I think. Page 4 is this. Anyway, then 5 is reiterate your statement of truth. I, Shelly's Millions, once again, swear that this information is true and correct. Yep, it's time to eat. And then 6, sign it. Also, I am aware that I shouldn't eat this late, but it's the nature of my job generally. Okay. So yes, that should be enough. All of those things are things that are going to really substantiate your claim. But I would also include something that like spells it out plain as day, clear as day, why you're sending those things to them, just in case they can't figure it out on their own. Okay, Brandon, you have to deal with the kiddo, but thank you again. You're very welcome and have a good night. Pavla, the EDD already knows I didn't file taxes and still qualified me and others. If that was not okay, why did they? In order to pay you quickly. So also, okay, shoot. Okay, Pavla, there were some situations where people were placed on PUA unemployment because there were no other extensions available to them. They didn't qualify for new claims. So if that's your situation, you could say, hey, you guys placed me on this because I was already out of my traditional benefits when the pandemic hit. So you would send an affidavit and say, hey, I wasn't able to work in the time frame. So the time frame you're asking, I don't have, but here's the work that I did. So you could go back, but explain why you are sending them an earlier date than they asked for. And then say, hey, and your people put me on this. But yes, getting PUA was an option if you were on regular unemployment and ran out of all your other extensions. But they're just confused, so they don't even know that, or they're like forgetting just like I did. There are some people that had situations that are just a little bit outside of what the majority of the claims did. And so they're trying to write this to encompass everyone. And then just like I momentarily forgot about that scenario and that reason for getting PUA, the EDD can as well. Okay, Alma says, I received a request from the EDD on December 19th to download my proof for PUA. Is it too late to upload it? Please help. And what do I send? No, it's not too late at all. I do have a video, it's not linked below, but that details all the different documents that you can send. And we've covered a lot of them in the last few questions. Just search Shelly's Millions PUA proof of employment, and that video should come right up. It's got a yellow background. Myri says, I spoke to a tier 2 rep and explained my backdate payment disqualifications. But since my English is not that good, the tier 2 rep was rude and told me she didn't know what I was talking about. Okay, well, she's just a jerk. The EDD also they have a lot of different languages, and they should have tier 2 reps that can speak all those different languages. And this is America, and we have lots of people with lots of different accents, and I do not know why anyone would be acting like that. That's not normal. That is not okay if they made you feel like that. That frustrates me so much. Please don't worry. I'm mad at them for you that they made you feel like that. Like seriously. But is the language that you're most familiar with, is that one of the options? They should be able to connect you with a tier 2 rep that can speak the language that you're most comfortable, that you feel very confident speaking in, and just hold for them. And also, I do want to say that it might not have anything to do with how well you speak English or how well you don't speak English. And you know what? The fact is that you tried. Oh, that makes me so mad, because I speak a little bit of Spanish and I want so badly to communicate. And sometimes I mess it up, but I want to keep trying. It can be, like I want help learning to speak Spanish. I don't know. And I don't know what language you speak. I don't speak anything other than Spanish. I can count to 5, I think, in Hindi and German, maybe. Anyway, whatever. You tried. And I'm mad that they made you feel like that. There should be a rep available, tier 2, that speaks the language that you're most comfortable with. Try and ask for them. But also, a lot of people are just getting a bad tier 2 rep on their first go around, and then they seem to get a better one when they try again. So I am going to recommend trying again, and good luck to you. And I'm really mad that they made you feel like that. Try not to think about that. I'm sure. Oh, why did they do that? What is wrong with them? I'm sorry. You're amazing. Okay. Manuel. Good night. Okay. Pavla, you have lots and lots of emails, but they're in French as my film was set there. If they're dated there, I mean, yeah, documentaries are often in a foreign language. Like, also, because could you use like Could you translate it? I just spit a little bit when I gave that answer. Like, could you translate the letter for them? Say, hey, these are the original emails. They were all in French. I speak French. I film French documentaries, or I help edit French documentaries, or I work with French actresses. But I was planning on traveling, or whatever. And just say, I can translate these letters for you, or maybe go ahead and just include, just say, I've gone ahead and translated a few of these for you. Okay, let's see here. Oh dear, you guys have a lot of questions tonight. Eunice, I don't know what that is. Tent and friend, this is Saeed and lovely Americans. I found a job and they fired me. I applied for unemployment again. I'm so sorry. What'd they fire you for? Anyway, I'm sorry they let you go. I'm sorry you're going through unemployment again. I hope you find a job that you love and that is a good fit. Okay, Tim, there you're refusing Chime bank statements and transaction records from Square. What are my options from PUA self-employment? So they shouldn't refuse them, right? It might say that it's disqualified and you need to send additional documents. So fill out that affidavit and then say, here's why I'm sending these to you. You have to spell it out for them. These are screenshots of sales I made, of payments I made. That should be fine. I can't guarantee that will be fine, but send an affidavit explaining why you're sending those screenshots. And I have heard stories of the first tier 2 rep saying, no, that's not good enough. And then the person calls back the very next day, speaks to a different tier 2 rep, and they're able to help them. Hi, Tim. Will they accept 2019 California taxes? Federal are stuck in a backlog? Possibly. They really want the time periods that they're asking for. If you submit something else, kind of like buyer beware. And if you don't submit the time frame that they're asking for, please make sure to explain why. Now, for me, my first instinct when I hear the federal are stuck in a backlog, I think, well, do you have a digital copy? Like a lot of us, like myself included, I file my taxes using TurboTax online. So at any point in time, I can go and pull my 2020 taxes if I need to. All right, Debbie, have a good night. Me and all the little green guys are going to wave goodnight. Ooh, this looks like it's weird. Anyway, I think I'm going to head out soon too. And Francis, that really happened. Lots moved back east. Yeah, totally. A lot of people moved. Okay, Mary, the tier 2 was horrible and she sounded very annoyed. I'm going to also say this, right? Because, okay, you guys know I'm no lover of the EDD after everything that they've put us through. Customer service is a tough job. Especially around Christmas, right? And the holidays. I don't know what it is. Every year, it's just bad, right? Like, and not that excuses, right? Because I like, do not love that they made you feel that way. We've, all through all of this, there have been so many reports of rude reps that I really wish that there was a satisfaction survey at the end. Because also, how like a lot of people were getting disconnected? If you were still on the line to fill out a customer service satisfaction survey, like, was the rep friendly? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1, they would know if the reps were hanging up on us, because if we didn't take the survey at the end, and not like an optional survey, like make it mandatory, who cares? Because I would be happy to fill out if the rep was helpful, I would love, like, you're already on the phone for 4 hours. What's 2 more seconds at that point? So make it mandatory, like, to fill out the survey. Was the rep friendly? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. Then if somebody got like too many people saying like that a certain rep was not friendly, then like, I don't know, some manager of all the EDD people could like go and like performance manage them, give them feedback. Hey, the last 10 out of 10 calls, somebody said you were rude. But unfortunately, we've had that throughout the entire pandemic, that I think we need that. They also need to say, was the rep you spoke to knowledgeable? press 1 for yes, 2 for no. And lastly, was the rep you spoke to able to like help fix your claim? Basically, 1 for yes, 2 for no. So it would solve like 4 problems for them if they added that customer service satisfaction. 1, it would tell them, is the rep just hanging up on people? 2, it would let them know, is the rep friendly? 3, it would let them know, was the rep knowledgeable? And 4, it would let them know if you still need help. I feel like that would be a really good idea. So somebody at the EDD, Rita, Jenny, if you've got any hookups, tell them to do that so that they can improve their staff and improve the customer service experience. Because even though the holidays are hard, and I don't know why customer service goes kind of haywire right around the holidays, the reps should be nice. Okay. End rant. Guys, if your employer asks you to stay home, if you ever test positive for the illness, ask them about exclusion pay through Cal OSHA. I have some homework due to Jenny Silver that I told her I would get her by midnight, and she goes to sleep around midnight. So I have about an hour and a half to get that done. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I'll see you next time. And we'll be sharing soon, hopefully, what this homework is that I'm doing for her. All right. Bye, guys.